Today, we are diving into a really fascinating, kind of mind-bending theory from our source material. It's this idea that history has a secret rhythm, like a hidden pulse. What if the rise and fall of empires, maybe even the universe itself, isn't quite as random as it all seems? I mean, that's the big question, right? We're usually taught that history is just this chaotic, messy string of wars and inventions and revolutions. But what if there's a structure underneath it all? A pattern that we've just been missing this whole time? So, to get us started, the source material points to this really curious timeline in American history. Check this out. In 1781, you've got the Battle of Yorktown, which pretty much sealed the deal for the Revolutionary War. Fast forward 80 years to 1861, and the Civil War tears the nation apart. And then 80 years after that, 1941, Pearl Harbor pulls the U.S. into World War II. Three massive nation-defining crises, each separated by almost exactly 80 years. Okay, so a strange coincidence? I mean, it would be easy to just shrug and say, that's weird. But according to the research we're exploring today, this might just be the first clue to a pattern that's way, way bigger than just one country. Yeah, see, this pattern isn't just an American thing. The source material argues that the same echo bounces across world history. And the magic number isn't 80. It's a very, very specific 81. And the evidence for this is actually surprisingly precise. Just look at how precise we're talking here. Let's take the final collapse of the Western Roman Empire. The empire officially split in two back in 395 AD. And the very last Western Roman emperor, he was kicked out in 476 AD. Now, what's the time between those two events that marked the end? Exactly 81 years. Not 80, not 82. A perfect cycle. And it's not just Rome. Look at the Mongol Empire. It was founded in 1206. Their reign over China, known as the Yuan dynasty, finally collapsed in 1368. So the total time from the empire's birth to its fall from power in China, 162 years. And what's 162? It's exactly two 81-year cycles. I mean, come on, that's another perfect match. You might be thinking, okay, that's all ancient history. But the pattern seems to pop up even in the modern world. The Franco-Prussian War of 1870 kicked off a rivalry that kept Europe on edge for decades. Then, in 1951, the European Coal and Steel Community was founded, literally pooling the resources of war to start building what would become the EU. The time between the start of that huge conflict and its ultimate systemic resolution? Yep, you guessed it, 81 years. So far, we've kept our feet on the ground, just looking at human history. But this is where the theory takes a really breathtaking leap. The source material proposes that this 81-year cycle is just the very first tick-tock of a vast cosmic clock. So here's the core idea. It's called the Powers of 81 theory, and the main takeaway is that this thing expands exponentially. 81 isn't just a number of years, it's a base unit, so 81 to the first power is our historical cycle. But what about 81 squared, or 81 cubed, and so on? The theory suggests they might define the great eras of life, our planet, and maybe even the whole universe. Let's do a cosmic zoom out to see how this works. Step 1. 81 to the power of 1 is 81 years. That's a human lifetime, a historical cycle. Now, zoom out. 81 squared is about 6,500 years, roughly the entire span of recorded civilization. Zoom out again. 81 cubed gives us over 500,000 years, the whole era of human evolution. Keep going. 81 to the fourth power is 43 million years, covering the rise of mammals. And 81 to the fifth? We're talking nearly 3.5 billion years, a timescale for the formation of entire galaxies. And here is where it all seems to click into place. Each of these massive timescales appears to line up with a major turning point in existence. The dawn of cities and writing, that fits neatly inside the 81 squared epoch. The emergence of us, Homo sapiens, that fits within the 81 cubed epoch. The extinction of the dinosaurs even happens on the 81 to the fourth scale. It's an incredible, elegant, and frankly, a pretty startling idea. Okay, let's zoom back in from the edge of the cosmos. That's all amazing, but what could this whole perspective mean for how we see our own time, right here and now? This right here, this really gets to the heart of it. It suggests that societies or nations, they build up pressure over time. And at these regular intervals, maybe every 81 years, they hit a kind of breaking point, what the source calls a phase transition. It forces a crisis and then a renewal.
It basically reframes history not as a straight line moving forward, but as a spiral, constantly circling back and evolving.
So, at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, is this a real, genuine pattern woven into the fabric of time? Or is it just pareidolia? Our brain's weird tendency to see patterns where there aren't any, like seeing a face in the clouds. The source material lays out a really compelling case, but it leaves us with this one provocative thought. What if all of existence has a hidden beat? And what if we're all just now, finally, learning how to hear it?